Welcome to the Board of Education meeting for Wednesday, September 11th, 2024. The meeting has been properly posted. Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, Mrs. Yank?
Here.
Dr. Kahn?
Here.
Mrs. Sapersky?
Here.
Dr. Beer?
Here.
Mr. Sprague?
Here.
And Mrs. Witkowski is excused.
Thank you. Can we stand for the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'm looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion was made by Dr. Beer, seconded by Mrs. Sapersky. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Friends of Franklin recognition for Kayla's Playground. Michelle Runty, Dr. Moe, please. Yes, Michelle, please come up. I don't know where we're gonna stand, but.
We'll figure that part out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
perfect
stand right in the
right
middle and we all just stare at you awkwardly.
Awkward moment. We didn't,
Wow.
we didn't
planned this
choreograph
out
this
very
very
well,
well.
did we?
Welcome, Shelley. Let's see. Should we all You should sit.
Maybe sit at the table.
Oh my goodness. So we would like to recognize Michelle or Shelley and Kayla's Playground for a number of reasons. As if you guys do not know, Monday night we did an ambassador recognition also over at City Hall for the City Council meeting. So it's a twofer this week that we get some very, very, very well-deserved recognition. So if you're not aware with the story of Kayla's Playground, it opened in 2015, inspired by Shelley's daughter Kayla. It is a fully inclusive playground, so that means that students even in wheelchairs or all different kinds of abilities, disabilities, neurodiversity can experience that playground without barriers. So there's a lot of thought that goes into building a playground that's open to all kids. The reason for that, way back when you read about it, was that so those students with special needs can enjoy just playing on a playground and forget about some of the challenges they face. The playground has been open for 9 years. They just got a new playground surface this past year. Tons of collaboration with the city, so there's a very good relationship there. In fact, at the city council meeting on Monday night, someone said, and I've never had a single complaint about the playground ever, and like everybody clapped. So that must be like it is a good positive thing. We wanted to recognize Kayla's Playground for our partnership from the district. So if you're not aware, last year, Shelley and I connected and we decided that we wanted to offer ambassador training, so a volunteer training as part of our professional development days. So we had 20 teachers that signed up to do that. We bussed them over there on a professional development day. Shelley and her crew took them through the training to become a certified ambassador, and what that means is then they're able to volunteer at the playground, so helping people to make good choices, giving indicators about how to use and not use the equipment, so the playground has volunteers that stay on site to help facilitate. So we trained 20 teachers as a part of that partnership. 13 of them came back with double-digit hours of volunteerism over the summer. Everything from high school teachers to 4K teachers to our physical therapists to people that thought it would be a good connection, some of whom are parents in the district and some of whom are district employees or both that thought the connection. We are doing the same thing again this year. We'll be training another group of people on April 21st of 2025. So this year, by this year, I mean this school year. At first, we kind of didn't know what it was going to be like, but she took her team and developed a way with stations and getting people trained. It's one of those things that makes you come back doing jobs when days are hard. So I think I came back and told people here that after the meeting on Monday night, we had a high school teacher, we had a student volunteer, we had the student volunteer's parent, we had the police department and myself and Shelley, and someone said kind of, easily, informally, hey, there's a lot of languages that I overhear spoken on that playground. Like, oh yeah, wouldn't that be great if we could get the Honor Society kids to record themselves in different languages and put a QR code? And Brian Debelak was there. He said, yeah, and the kids could put that right on the post, and there could be a sticker. And it was like this natural partnership, and it came out of a very informal meeting after the meeting sort of conversation, and each person contributed to that. And so that's what I would like people to take away about the partnership, like taking informal to formal in the way that it should be done to take good care of kids and take good care of the community. So I'd like to recognize the whole Kayla's Playground crew, but especially Shelley, for being a good partner to us here in Franklin. Sure.
Please.
We're making these rules up as we go.
Yeah.
So.
I haven't the foggiest.
It goes green.
there it
Okay,
is.
now you
There
can
you
hear
go.
me.
Good,
Great. I thought of organic
Mhm.
when you said that. And interestingly enough, it has always been on my mind to partner more with the community. And back in 2015, if any of you were part of it, the community of 2,000 volunteers came out and built Kayla's Playground. But I love the fact that our first logo that we had on our polos, first partnership was with Franklin Public School District. And that's where it came full circle. Ben Franklin Elementary School really surrounded inclusiveness and accessibility, and I cannot say enough about the teachers in that school. I have 2 daughters, one that had special needs and an IEP. The school district was able to provide services and education for Kayla on that end. Also, I have an older daughter. My husband and I have an older daughter, Brooke, also providing classes, AP courses that could get her ready to go to college. Got accepted right into Kelly School of Business at Indiana University. She graduated in 3.5 years. So when you see that full spectrum, and it's a beautiful thing that the Franklin Public School District is able to provide education and community to all children. And that's the beauty of this whole thing coming back in that full circle moment, that we could have built a playground at Ben Franklin Elementary, but being able to break it out of the walls of what I was taught from the teachers at Ben Franklin and bring it out in the community, that there are other communities that come to the playground to learn about Kayla's Playground, that they want to build a playground like Kayla's in their community. Delavan is one of them, Greenfield, other communities. So really this playground in Franklin is really a gem, and people want to have a playground like Kayla's. And I'm just delighted to have, the Franklin Public School District on board and your support, and having the educators out there is so key, that they're up on the new norm of the language that we use in special education and all of that. So I can even learn a few things being outside of that population. So I just want to say thank you, and it's really special that you guys are kind of the patriarchs of, going forward and being the first ones to be part of our ambassador program. So thank you.
Thanks, Shelley. Our
Thank
pleasure.
you very much.
Photo op.
Yep.
We have a photo op.
You can get in there too, Janine. You're
Yes.
a trained
Yeah,
ambassador.
Janine, please.
Janine is one of our trained ambassadors.
Come on, Janine.
I accidentally was on the agenda for a good recognition here.
Come on.
Come on, yeah, Jessica.
Yeah, it didn't go so well.
This person should be the odd person.
Yeah, 'cause you actually.
Oh my God, it's like you're the first time in front of the backdrop.
You guys match your clothes all match.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you guys look great.
That's a nice picture.
Good job. Thanks, Shelley.
Appreciate all your work. Meeting and paving the.
We'll be in touch. We got more to do. Thanks, Shelley.
All right, I didn't limp over to see if anybody signed up for community comment. Mary? No, okay.
Mary,
No.
would you like to?
If you didn't sign up, you can't. All right, I'm looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion was made by Mrs. Larson, seconded by Dr. Khan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. School board calendar, FHS homecoming parade is Wednesday, September 25th, 2024, followed by a Board of Education meeting at 6:15. The parade is at 5:30. And also a Board of Education meeting on Wednesday, October 9th at the ECC at 6. District Administrator update. Mrs. Bennon, please.
All right. Well, I also want to thank Shelley for being here tonight. Laura and I were just talking today that we're going to be a part of the ambassador group this year. So we're excited that that's back, and thanks for having that opportunity. It was great to hear how many hours were put in this summer and that it just carried forward. And I know that I've enjoyed that playground before too. So thank you for everything that you do for the community. The connection's been really wonderful and fun that it all landed in the same week because I don't think that part was planned. And so it made for two fun nights for you, but a busy week. So thank you for being here. We also welcomed 4,652 learners back to school last week, Tuesday and Wednesday, depending on their grade level. It's been an exciting start to the year. I think there's always an amazing energy, an infectious, feel to that time. Wonderful staff welcoming everybody, wonderful families, and our drop-off and our pickup and our bus routes have gone great, and just a whole lot of things to celebrate. We've had some learning moments, as we always do, as once the students are back, but all in a positive direction. We look forward to continuing to learn to be and strive to be better and be different every day this school year, as we are a better place to learn, better place to work, and part of a better community. We had great attendance at our open houses. Thank you to pretty much everybody at this table who's been a part of some type of open house or other event in the last couple weeks. I think it's nice for all of us to feel that energy coming back. And Chad Kafka's at the high school tonight for the high school open house, also representing our team. Couple fun things that we've celebrated, many moments, but I tried to think of a few that stand out. Obviously, our Kayla's Playground opportunities and the recognition tonight is one that's really stood out, and we're excited to extend and continue this coming year. So thank you to Dr. Mo for setting up and establishing that through our Gear Ups. And two other events that I know we've heard a bit about, but I think are fun things to showcase right now that stand out for being a better place to learn and work and part of a community, is our Forest Park administration and educators. We haven't been able to formally recognize their work in welcoming our sixth graders back, but they went above and beyond to be better and be different, and they visited all of our sixth graders at their house and gave swag bags, as Principal Rosinski calls them, so just items with Forest Park markings on them. But I think more than just the time and the energy that goes into that, the day was beautiful, which helps out. But I think the fearful part about going to middle school or any transition in school is that you're going somewhere new that's not your territory. And how inviting for our families to welcome them to come to their house and meet our newest learners at the middle level on the ground that they're familiar with in a place that they're familiar. So I want to thank and recognize that group for doing that work. It takes a lot to organize and a lot of great energy. Construction 2 is another great opportunity we had on the first day back for our 10th through 12th graders. They were breaking ground and cutting ribbon on their Construction 2 home. This is the 6th house they've built with Tim O'Brien Homes. And we continue to see more and more interest in the program and more diversity in the students that are taking part in it. It also leads us to that point of, how do we continue to grow that space at the high school? Some of that referendum information we give on how can we get more students into these opportunities, because it really does showcase and give a pinnacle to the work that they've been doing. And then a few upcoming things. Franklin Education Foundation had the fun run last weekend, which had a nice turnout, and then they move into their consignment sale this coming weekend, so busy time of year. Sabre Marching Band Invite is the following Saturday, so we do not have a quiet moment at the high school. It's exciting to celebrate so many things. And then this year we're introducing a parent series, so our whole team's work to think of what are different areas that we can engage our, not just parents, any community member, in things that are of interest or timely in learning more about. So we're gonna have a one-pager that has all of these monthly series on them. But the first one is already next week, the 19th at 5 p.m. It's on artificial intelligence. So definitely something that is growing by the minute that we won't be able to keep up with, but we can try to. This is in partnership with Indian Community School. So it's being hosted there. They're going to have, I believe, dinner too, right, Dr. Mo? Does that sound right? I know they're going to have services if you want to bring students for babysitting. So a lot of accommodations to get families there so parents can learn and doesn't have to put up a struggle for if you have younger
Had to
kids.
RSVP though, I think there's rules like
Yeah,
for those
watching
parts.
the
Yes.
newsletter from last week has a lot of information about it.
That out there to the-
Yeah. So that's one that we have coming up. We have partnership with Autism Society, with learning more about our new literacy curriculum, and some safety pieces that we're bringing in with outside consultants. So watch for more on that, but we're excited to have our first night next weekend. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, reports, presentations, and other board business. Summer school report. Mrs. Bombian, please.
I thought with my new role, I may not have to present, but I'm glad to have the opportunity. It would be silly to not be here in this capacity. So this past summer just continued was my second summer of being summer school principal alongside Haley Keski, who was the middle and high school administrator. So we've been a team of two for the last 2 years, and it's been really great. And this year was seamless, so that was wonderful. A couple of highlights I wanted to share. We had increased enrollment this year from the elementary and middle school numbers. We moved 2 separate elementary and middle school schedules to one, which is magical for things that keep me up at night, like arrival and dismissal. Bus schedules, signage for where families need to come in and where to drop off, and walking kids home, things of that nature was so much better this year. And I would say that we are really trying to look at the transition courses, the 6th grade and 9th grade. With myself in this position for 2 years, I was able to work closely with Haley for the 6th grade transition course, and then with Mr. Decker and his team for the 9th grade transition course to really kind of outline how I can support getting the word out and allowing students to know that they have this opportunity. One of the things we learned this year was that because registration for the transition courses lives under the summer school umbrella, it happens so early, and then transition happens in August, and so parents are calling and worried that their kid won't be able to get in. So we've kind of brainstormed some communication additions to how families are able to maybe midsummer register for that or something along those lines. So looking forward to working with those groups again for next summer.
Thank you. Any questions?
I just kind of was confused on the high school enrichment. It said summer 2023.
Oh, man. Nope.
And
24. Sorry.
It seems like the number for summer 2024 for high school, it said 68, but it seems like the numbers would be way more than that. So I don't know. I was a little confused.
So high school enrichment, it does have the incorrect date. That is my fault. I apologize. It's 284 attended at least one day of summer school. So those are the courses, ACT prep, AP academy, all of those things. It's tricky because some of the courses run during summer school and then some run outside of the summer school dates. And so how it's categorized is a little bit tricky. So if you look on the second page, we have the internship that was new this year. All the credit recoveries on one chart as well. I'm not sure if I answered your question, but yeah, it might, how it's labeled, I guess, for lack of a better term, is a little bit tricky. But 98.5 students earned credits through the summer learning program, whether if that was credit recovery or first-time credit. So
98.5.
98.5 of students.
I thought you meant a raw number.
Oh, percent, sorry.
Half a kid got half a
Those that took the courses, that was the credit earning. You were listening, thanks.
Anybody else?
Great summer school sounded pretty seamless.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, as a
Well
parent who
oiled
was
machine.
dropping off here, my high schooler volunteering, the morning drop off was way smoother than I've ever seen in all my years coming here, so.
Yeah, even staff were like, whoa. I was like, I know. Just changing the start time to being the same, something so small really made an impact. And families that had cars with two different like levels, that was confusing. They had to go through once for the middle and then second for the elementary. So I think it's more family friendly too. So yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, revised 2024-25 school board meeting dates. There was a conflict on the 23rd. So we'd like to move, of October. We'd like to move the meeting from October 23rd to October 30th. Of note, there is a WASB workshop on the 30th. That would be a conflict, but I'm looking, does anybody have any questions or I think we should move the date to get rid of the conflict. But if anybody feels otherwise, maybe we'd like to talk about it.
I move that we adjust the October 23rd meeting to October 30th.
Second.
All right, motion was made by Dr. Beer, seconded by Mrs. Sapersky. Any further comment? All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. School board liaison reports. Please.
So I've attended the SWSA meeting this morning virtually, and in following Linda's footsteps, I'll just continue the habit of passing the slide deck on to you all rather than putting a report in board docs for every meeting. And I pointed out I think the slides of note. Otherwise, it was a lot of work on clarifying mission, vision, and value statements, which is important to do, but not much to recap other than a lot of people had a lot of thoughts about a lot of word choice.
Educators.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? School and community engagement reports, there are a lot. Does anybody
I can't even remember.
wish to recap?
Fun run.
Go ahead, Mary.
I was at the fun run with Angie. So we were at the board table and answered questions, and a lot of kids took pins. I don't know if their parents were like, "Where'd you get this?"
Perfect.
Our pins are almost gone because kids
Good.
took the pins. But
Pins were a hot topic over at Robinwood too. Kids wanted the pins.
That was a really nice event, and that's another example of a community member started that event like 2-3 years ago, just running around actually in the woods over by Kayla's. It would start over there, and she then decided to have it benefit the foundation, and then this year she made it even bigger, taking advantage of the beautiful Oak Leaf Trail starting in Fremming Park. And again, Ashley is her name. I don't know her last name, but she is a parent, and she just made it happen. So it's a neat event.
Anybody else?
And I think we've all been at
Yeah, we've all been on that thing.
open houses and football games
football
and.
games and band practice.
It was nice to be
Yeah.
at the groundbreaking for the construction and see.
So mad at it.
I think there was 5 girls there out of the
Wow,
12 or
awesome.
13 students, but it might have been 6.
Mm.
But a lot. It was nice to see some diversity.
I attended the annual picnic of the Sikh community last Sunday at the Oak Creek Sikh Temple. I was invited there, and it was nice to thank the community because we have a good amount of Sikh community in population here in the Franklin community. So just was there
Good.
and thank them for being a Franklin residents and be active, engaged community.
Thanks, Max.
Nice, thank you. All right, anybody else? All right, future agenda items, Friends of Education, Seclusion and Restraint Report, District Administrator Goal Setting, District Safety Plan and Goals Review, and Threat of Violence Drill Review. All 3 of those will be in closed session. Friends of Franklin, Community and Recreation Department Review, preliminary budget review, Wisconsin School Board Recognition Week, policies 1500, smoking and tobacco use prohibited, 4131, drug, alcohol, and tobacco-free workplace, 5410, use of physical force by staff, and 6320, open enrollment. Those will be first reads. See Friends of Education and Friends of Franklin there. We are gonna try and have more celebrations like Michelle's tonight throughout the year. So Michelle, you'll be back just about every couple of weeks. No, there'll be a lot throughout the year, a lot of people to celebrate in our community, so.
And can you
thank
remind us where I know Annalise sent a link for the nomination form in her one, keeping you informed, but where does that nomination form live?
It lives on the website too. I'd have to think about what tab it's under.
But it's accessible to
Anybody can-
anyone
yep,
who's
anybody can
watching this
nominate.
even, yeah.
Yep, and I'll include it in our Friday board update again too.
Thank you. All right, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion was made by Mrs. Sapersky, seconded by Dr. Beer. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned at 6:26.
Wow, let's go to the high school open house, everybody.